shift gears, and we're going to start talking about. Hey, how you doing, Skip?
Hey, how you doing, Kirk?
Good. Thanks for coming on the Kirk and Byrd show. We appreciate it. We were just closing down with Mickey Thompson of Stonebridge, and I'm just pulling up some of the 757 brackets. So hang with me here. So how's life, Skip?
Life was good. Can't complain. I'm still on this side of the earth, so
that's right. Over than under. So Skip is one of my classmates. Rusty and I both. Rusty went to Bethel. I went to Phoebus. Skip is class of 1987, so all three of us. So Skip played for Phoebus. Skip coached for Phoebus, both Bill D and Stan Sexton, right, Skip?
Yeah.
Right. And you're a referee. So you can see a lot of the talent down there. And, you know, we've got
football.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I referee basketball.
Yeah, I referee in the Peninsula District football.
Okay.
I do some Bay Rivers District also.
Right. Okay.
Cool.
Well, that segues into Skip what we're talking about, because Phoebus is going to be playing the Bay Rivers District. Back in our time, it was the York River District, old school. But they're going to be playing a very good York team, and they're going to be playing that at Darling Stadium on Saturday, and I do plan on being there. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Phoebus, you know, what you thought about last week with Hopewell, as well as what they're going into with York. So why don't we start off with Skip? What do you think? How do you think they handled Hopewell? Because I know a few years ago they accidentally got I think upset by Hopewell 3 or 4 years ago early. So I'm sure that was motivation for Coach Blunt. Why don't you give us your thoughts on how the Hopewell game went?
Well, it didn't go as I thought it was going to go. I thought Phoebus was going to come out and jump on them early like they did last year. But they came out, fumbled the opening snap, and then they went down and Hopewell scored their first points of the game early in the first quarter. And to me, it took the kids a little while to get into the groove of things. It's a Saturday game. It's kind of hard to get up for a Saturday at 2:00 game, even though it's the playoffs and you're expected to win. It's still kind of hard for kids to get up and get into the groove of going out there and playing a game on a Saturday afternoon. I think Coach Blunt and his team made some excellent defensive adjustments at halftime. They played well in the first half, holding them to just 7.
Right.
Hopewell could not sustain a drive into Phoebus territory. And to be honest with you, special teams to me really won that game on Saturday, because Phoebus gained about 20 to 30 yards every punt. So if they were punting from Hopewell's 40, the punt would end at the 15 and Hopewell would start at 15. They gain a first down or two, punt it back. Phoebus would return it, which they would, to me, I don't know why they were kicking to Kamari Gray, but he would get it back to like, you know, the -40. Then he'd get to like the 50, and then they would punt, and then they would be down at the 5. And so they were constantly gaining field position in the first half. But then in the second half, it was really got stalemate. It really became a defensive battle at that point. And then when the quarterback from Hopewell made that ill-advised pass, instead of just going down and taking a sack, and Jalen Mayo took that his first pick 6 back to the house, I was like, okay, well, that pretty much solidified it there. And then they threw another pick. Phoebus didn't score on that one. They left points on the board on the field with that one.
Right.
And then the subsequent pick, which Jalen Mayo got, and took that one back about 60 yards back to the house. And that sort of broke the game wide open for Phoebus. And then from there on, Hopewell was in an element where I don't think they really wanted to be. I think they wanted to play ball control, keep the Phoebus offense off the field, and keep their defense, you know, on the field. But I think when they got in a hole, that sort of messed up the whole game plan.
Right. And Mayo, I'm sorry, Rusty. Real quick, I'll let you go. Mayo is the highly regarded wide receiver, correct?
No, not Mayo. It's Kamari's is the kid that's got all the offers.
Okay. All right.
Mayo is probably he's going to be. I think he can go D1. Maybe like a Middle Tennessee State or a Memphis.
Right.
I think he'll play good there.
Let's make sure we get Kamari's name right. We want to give him a shout out. What's Kamari's name?
Kamari Gray.
Okay. I've heard a lot of good things about him. Rusty, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, Skip, did you get a chance to see when Phoebus played Oscar Smith? And if you did or didn't, do you think that was a good game for them to play? Do you think it helped them, find those things that they didn't do well, refocus them, or just what? What are your thoughts on that?
My initial reaction was like, oh, this is a bad game, because to me, you don't want to go risk getting your players hurt.
Yeah,
that's what I said too. That's what I said, Skip.
And that was my thing. But then when I talked to Blunt, and he was like, I want to see what my kids are going to do in the spotlight with the big lights on them against a team that's probably better than them. And I sort of thought about it, it's like, okay, I understand that, but to me, the risk reward thing was a little off. But I think it showed Phoebus where they want to get back to, as far as like the 2008, the 2010 team.
Yeah.
That's what this Oscar Smith team reminds me of. They've got kids that can fly. They got kids that are big and strong. Mm-hmm. And I think it showed the Phoebus team, this is what you're going to have to look like and execute like if you want to be like these guys right here. And you have to see it in real life. Right. To play like that. I remember when back in '86, Hampton was the team to beat. And then Rusty knows with the Rock and who else? Ford and all those guys, everybody was aspiring to be like them. So I think it gave Phoebus a chance to see where they want to go. Right. And to be honest with you, people really don't realize this, but Phoebus is a very young team. Mm-hmm. I think Kamari Gray is a senior. How many seniors? The right tackle is a senior. I think the running back is a senior, number 7. And that's it. That whole offensive line is freshmen and sophomores.
Right. It's a young team.
Wow.
So I mean, they are really, really young. And that defensive lines are freshmen and sophomore. They've got a freshman inside linebacker.
Yeah.
What?
Yes, the off corner from Kamari is a sophomore. Mm-hmm. And one of the safeties is a freshman. So they are very young. And I told them, if you can get it done with this team this year, you've got another 4-year run in you.
Right.
Yeah.
If they can get it done, they've got another 4-year run, at least on in Class 3.
Yeah, in Class 3. And I tell you, if they're strong, to me, if you're strong on that offensive defensive line, everything else can fit in. We can find, those. That to me is key, man. Any team at any level. I go back to the Emmitt Smith Cowboy. I can't stand the Cowboys, but Emmitt Smith, man, them holes were so big. I think I could have run through them joints. I go back to the Hampton days. Hampton High, man, them holes were so big, bro. So big. And I don't know, man. I love my Bethel Bruins, but I was trying to run through these types of these sides. Hey,
I think Smoke. Roach and all them. Their holes was maybe like this.
That's it. I played fullback my senior year, so I was supposed to help make those holes a little wider. So,
we had
what position did you play, Skip?
I played corner and wide receiver.
Okay.
So I was always a guy like this. I look, ooh, that looked like that hurt. Okay, you want to run back? Did you want to run, Coach D?
Man, I talk so much stuff now, man. But my boy Sherwood Jones, and we got some pictures of us in the paper, like me running and him like clashing. But like, man, going up against Hampton, it was always a battle. But you guys too, I remember when we played you guys our senior year, and
that's the first year we beat you.
That week of the game. You remember, like, it was almost a 3 or 4 way
Yep.
tied for teams in the first place. It was you guys, Hampton, us, Warwick. I even think Denby was at play.
Yeah, and Lafayette too.
Lafayette,
yeah.
Kickingham was right there too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Hollier and his crew.
Yeah.
Yep. Right.
So
and I remember.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Rusty.
We had never lost to Phoebus in the history of the Bethel High Phoebus rivalry. And I remember telling people, there's no way Phoebus is going to beat us. Man, I talked so much smack in my government class, and I was telling people, man, y'all beat us, but I'm not going to take anything from you, but we put Coach Cos, and I love him, but everybody knows, man, that week we tried to put in a new offense, and this was classic Cos. We put in a brand new offense just for that game, and when it didn't work after like 2 or 3, he goes back, and it was like, we worked all week on this to try to trick them, and now we not, just staying at our base. But he put in some new offense against y'all. But I give you credit, man. Y'all balled out, and did you all actually make the playoffs?
Yeah, we did. We lost in the Eastern Region Finals to Warwick.
Right?
Yeah.
And Warwick, I think they made it to the state championship.
To the states and lost to Robinson, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And then Hampton went on. I know they won.
Yeah, they won.
And but no. That year, man. Well, I remember if we had beaten Hampton, things changed. Like we would have actually been the district champ, but we ended up being left out, just because of all the way the tiebreakers worked out. Yeah. So okay, yeah, I probably didn't get a chance to block you or run over you because y'all was good. Y'all was big up front. Your backers won't let me get down the field, but
okay, KK and Tom and who was on our defensive line? Greg headquarters. I can't see his face, but Greg and Jerry Moore and Jerry Moore.
Yeah.
That was the game. My Coach Cos, he had like this bird day was like we had like I don't know if that we started rotating quarterbacks, but we had like Jason Wallace. Jay was at quarterback, and then it was me, my brother Melendez, and William Beverly. We would be like the wishbone, and then it would be Kent Johnson come in, and then we spread it out, and Kent would throw. And
I haven't heard those names in a long time.
Man, if Kent is in, we're gonna throw, and we going with 2 backs, and we got an extra receiver, and Jason gonna run the wishbone or the option, like, duh.
Yeah, I had those are names I haven't heard in a long time.
Somebody and it worked, so he was like, "Oh, we're gonna do this again or something." But anyway, those were some good old days. But I would say this, in terms of my question that I asked you, I've coached a lot and I've played a lot of sports, but I've had teams that were undefeated, but I don't mind a loss. I know you don't want to tell the kids that, but when you can I have film and I can point it out, and it helps us as coaches. It helps us to be able to identify some of our weaknesses that we hadn't seen all year. I am hoping that this was a blessing for you and Oscar Smith. I know Oscar Smith learned when they played Bosco, well, okay, we're not all we thought we were. Yeah. So I'm really pulling for you guys to go all the way and definitely represent the 757 and specifically Hampton. So good luck.
I think that loss to Oscar Smith let them know they weren't as good as they thought they were.
Mm-hmm.
And to let them know that they still had things they needed to work on.
Yep.
And it showed when they played Tab, because they came out and jumped on Tab and beat them like they stole something.
Yep.
And then for whatever reason, Hopewell had some kind of magic potion or sprinkle fairy dust on us every year, and we always have to struggle with them. York is a very good team. People are underestimating York. They don't run anything fancy. They run that single wing like Stonebridge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They have a very good back who's got some good size and has some good speed. And if they don't come and hit and wrap, Phoebus will have a long night. So it's going to be a real physical ball game. So,
and that's for the state semifinals. And I'm just looking. You don't want to look ahead. So that game's at Darling Stadium. By the way, how's the field, Skip? at Darling Stadium. I heard some comments about that.
The grass has turned since it's gotten cold here.
Yeah.
So the grasses went from green to brown. So the turf is fine. I mean, I think the field is in good shape considering that it is turned.
Right.
They put the black paint so you can actually see the yard, the yard. So which I think is neat. I was like, oh, that looks pretty nice. It's a little different. I like different stuff, and it looks different. It definitely looks different. Mm-hmm. So the field is good. It's held up well this year, but we didn't have that much rain in the during the fall. So
right.
Yeah, but if you've heard our show before, I've been a big advocate, man, of Darling and Todd Stadium getting a turf field, man. You got, 9
I like
teams
grass.
between fields. Yeah, it'd be fine if it was one team playing.
If it was Phoebus's field, but when everybody has to play on it.
Yeah. But like it's, I think you guys, Phoebus can run some power football, but I think we eliminate some of our speed playing on that field when we're not playing. And I know Hilton up here used to be the same way. We take away our potential speed when we don't have that turf field. And it's supposed to rain this Friday. And if the field gets bad, but if you're a power team and you got that line, you can work through it. But but I don't know, does that work to York's advantage or not? If they're running that wing offense. So I don't know. I just would like to see the field be turf just because of the use of 4 teams, 3 days a week. That's just me.
I like it. Well, as a referee, I like the grass because it doesn't hurt my knees. Being an older guy, running up and down the field, the grass is a lot better on my knees than that turf.
I feel you.
Field turf. So, but I understand what you're saying.
Prediction, Skip. You and I are both homers, but I know you're going to pick Phoebus, but tell us why.
It'll be Phoebus, and I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a 28-14 or 28-21 type of game, or maybe even come down to kicking with a 27-26 type of game. I like Phoebus athletically to spread the field and make them have to play sideline to sideline, whereas not playing in the box like York wants you to play. If Phoebus gets on them and gets on them early, like they did in 2018, it'll be a blowout. But I think York will try to keep it close because that's the type of ball game they want. And if it rains on Friday, the game's on Saturday, the track will be slow. So that benefits York.
Yeah. And then Phoebus has the advantage because of power rankings to be at home until the state championship. And the state championship being just across the tunnel in ODU is kind of it's Liberty. I'm sorry.
It's Liberty. They got to go to Liberty.
Right.
Yeah, they got Liberty.
Yeah. Well, as alumni, we have to work on making sure they have good moto coaches. So that's a side. Anybody that's watching this, alumni need to step up and make sure they have moto coaches there. But, I'm just looking at the other bracket now. I know Coach Blunt and staff wouldn't talk about this, but we're looking at Brentsville, which is up here. And Meridian. Brentsville's pretty good. Yeah, and Meridian, Rusty, I was looking at Meridian. I believe that's the old City of Falls Church School that got renamed, right? Right on Route 7. Because I was like, who's Meridian? I think they renamed themselves. I forgot the name of it, but they play a bunch of, Yeah, so they have not had the schedule strength, Skip. I mean, they've played some very small teams. And I think that will work,
Yeah, Phoebus has definitely had a tougher schedule than Brentsville and Meridian.
Yeah, especially Meridian.
They probably haven't seen the team speed overall.
Right.
Has.
Yeah.
All of the skilled kids can fly, every last one of them. And some of the linemen, I know number 70 and number 52, for those to be the big kids, and I like to tease them, like all my fat kids, they can run.
Yeah.
They can run. They chased down Henderson's younger brother on Saturday, the one that plays for Ohio State.
Right. Oh, yeah. They
chased him down in the backfield and told him, and I was on the sideline, and they told him, you are not as good as your brother.
Oh,
Like,
Hey,
that's sort of disrespectful, but it is what it is.
yeah, and I'm looking at the bracket, Skip. You know, if they go to Lynchburg, you know, it's looking like Liberty Christian.
Yeah, I'm
and
thinking that they'll
Christiansburg.
see Liberty Christian.
Because Liberty Christian's got the number one player in the state, Zach Rice, and then Heritage lost to Brookville, which was an upset. And I believe Heritage was the team Phoebus lost to last year. So
2018, in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, the hard part about Liberty Christian is that's a private school. You know, isn't that a private school? They're on their
I don't know. We got to
schools.
talk to Andre Kendrick about that because it's like a hybrid. Yeah, it's private, but they're playing in public. What's that?
Yeah, they changed the rule.
They are, but I guess they're playing in VHSL. So
they changed the rule a few years ago, and schools can do that. And so my concern is when you're playing, and they're playing Division III because most private schools are much smaller. My son is at a private school. And total enrollment is 800, and it's a co-ed school. Mm-hmm. But my concern is Liberty. I mean, they'll probably recruit. Legally recruit the best kids from that area. And what would that look like if Phoebus is going up against them? So I don't think they won a state championship, Liberty, since they've converted and started playing in this level. Do you know?
I'm not sure. I tried calling Andre.
Sticks out when I see the talent that they have. They have a lot of talent. You know?
Yeah, they got more than the Zach Christian kid going to North Carolina. Yeah. But Skip, I mean, I foresee Phoebus playing Liberty Christian, which is almost a home game at Liberty, and that's a great stadium, by the way. Let's ask your opinion on Division 5. You know, we got Maury and Green Run.
Maury, yes.
What do you think about who's going to come out of that Division 5? Because I know you put your finger.
I am stuck between Green Run and Maury coming out of that bracket, and that is going to be one of the best ball games that this area has seen in a long time when they meet up in the semifinals. They both can air it out. I think I give Green Run the edge on as far as defensively. I think they play defense a little bit on the back end, a little bit more cohesiveness in the back end. Their front four can get after it. And I think they won the Beach District for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I tell people that everybody's in the playoff for a reason. They're not here just because. They're here for a reason. And at this point in the game,
I think at this point, everybody's
here
teams
for a
I see that are left. Yeah,
the teams that are left now they're here for a reason. They're left for a reason because they can play.
Right.
Yeah. And if you don't bring your A game, you'll be getting on that bus sad, going home. What ifing?
Right. And Skip, the other thing is they play a very good Kempsville team who played them tough.
Tough, yes.
And it's very hard to beat a team twice. Everybody knows that. But we had Larry Rubama from the Virginia Pilot on last week, and we put it out on the Kirk and Byrd show on YouTube and our podcast. And he thinks Maury will come out of it. So what about 6? I mean, I don't see anybody beating Oscar Smith.
After what I seen them, the way they did my poor Phantoms that Friday night, and Phoebus held them to 42.
Right. That's funny.
And that's saying something because Phoebus stopped them twice, but then we didn't capitalize on opportunities. We should have scored at least 21 points that game. And that's why I said they learned a lot, because they learned that when you get your opportunities to execute, you need to execute. You get a fumble on the 20-yard line on the +20, you need to cash that in. Right. And they couldn't.
Yep.
And Oscar Smith's about their life. They are a very good team from top to bottom.
Mm-hmm.
They have they're well coached. Yep. The only thing that will stop Oscar Smith is Oscar Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Because they can get undisciplined at times. They got a couple of roughing the passes penalties, not back to back. That's 30 yards of unearned yardage that you're giving to another team. That other team is just as good as you. That's a score in my book.
Yeah. Well, they've got Skip. They've got a tough out with Battlefield. Battlefield's in Haymarket. They're undefeated.
Yes, my aunt lives out there behind Battlefield High School.
Man, when we moved up here, that was Woods. They got their own hospital out there now, man. And that's the other thing I was telling you about when we talked on the phone was, the talent in Prince William County is just tremendous. So
I don't think Battlefield is going to be Freedom. I don't think Battlefield.
Wow, okay, all right. So he knows Prince William.
Battlefield is a pretty good team. They
are.
We've seen Freedom. They can fly. They got a lot of speed. Yeah, they got a lot of speed. Matter of fact, Freedom, I don't think they could beat Oscar Smith, but Freedom would be the speed.
They
really good. Give them a run.
I think Freedom is the team in the state that would give Oscar Smith the best game. But Freedom has to get a Battlefield, and then they'd have to get past whoever's coming out of.
No, that's it. They're going to play Oscar Smith if they beat Battlefield, Rusty.
Oh, that's right. They would play in the semis because the winner plays the Fairfax team. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. And then we may be looking at South County and Madison. South County and Madison.
South County and Madison will be the other semi. Yeah.
Southport, South County. I mean, when they lost to us in 2011 in the state finals, the last time Phoebus went to the state finals, we beat them. Now, I'm pretty sure they don't want to see another 7-5-17.
Well, nobody wants to see Oscar Smith. I mean, You're talking loaded. I don't think there's a team in the state. Rusty, I don't think there's a Catholic League team up here that could beat Oscar Smith. I don't think Benedictine or Collegiate. I don't think there's a Richmond team that could beat them. They're the premier.
I don't think Virginia Catholic school team, but the ones in DC and Maryland.
Yeah. Gonzaga, St. John's. That's a whole different ball.
Yeah, they're a whole different
crew. Those guys have. Yeah. It's all legal, man. You got somebody pick you up at your front door, take you to school, host families. That's what's different. But so a couple things before we close. I'm looking forward to going to the game and seeing the game in person and seeing the team, and especially excited. So, but I wanted to point out that Saturday before last in Blacksburg, Xavier Adibi was inducted into the Virginia Tech Hall of Fame, and he's one of the best Phoebus Phantoms to ever play the game. Great linebacker, in my humble opinion, and I'm very biased because I've known him since like kindergarten. He's good friends of my nephew. And X, is the defensive coordinator at University of Texas Commerce. So he wasn't able to be there, but Nathaniel Bubbs was there and got the award for him. So big shout out, Xavier Adibi making the Virginia Tech Hall of Fame. What a great
I have a funny story about Xavier. He was on my JV squad back in 2000. 2000. And he had did something, and I was like, "You here?" He was like, "What?" I said, "Come here, off the field, stand by me." And he sat there. He was fuming. I was like, "You're not above the team, son. You just can't go out there and do whatever you want to do all willy-nilly." And his dad was there, and his dad was like, "You listen to coach."
Yeah, Obadiah. Yeah.
So I sat him for like 2 or 3 series, and then I put him back in there, and then we had a little talk. And I told him, "Look," I said, "Xavier, this could be your ticket out of here." I said, "So you need to get it together." I said, "You have big shoes to fill. Your brother was the man when he was here back in 98 and 99. So you have big shoes to fill." And he just looked at me. I was like, and I'm not going to be, because I was getting ready to deploy to Iraq. And I was like, I'm not going to be here to sort of help you through some things. I said, I wish I would love to see you matriculate and to what I think you can be. I said, but you got to learn this hard lesson right here. So come on and stand beside me for a couple series. Yeah. He got it after that because I see by the time I came back from Iraq in 2005, he was the man at Tech. And I was like,
yeah, they've had some great linebackers, and he played with one, Vince Hall from Chesapeake. And
yes, or they're from a Western Branch.
Yeah, and X just athletic ability. I mean, Virginia Tech's Ben Taylor, Vince Hall, Victor Jones, but I'd never seen one like X. I mean, there's a couple pickoffs. There's one, you've probably seen the highlight, Skip, where he picks one off at about the 35 and just the speed for him. And he did a somersault into the end zone. And, barring injury, he would have been in the league for a long time. But look, we really appreciate you coming on. I'm going to drive down tomorrow, man. I'm not messing with that Wednesday traffic. I'm going to leave at about 2:30. And, if 95 gets backed up,
it's going to be backed up.
I know. I'll just be yapping on the phone. I'm used to the traffic. It doesn't bother me anymore. I'm patient. So, look, I'll look to see you at the game, and looking forward to, Phoebus taking care of business. Thank you for your insight, and especially with the whole 757. And by the way, real quick, did Pocosin lose or win?
They lost.
Okay, so were they the only 757 team in Division II that had a shot?
Yeah, they were the only one that had a shot. Yeah. And I was kind of surprised that they did lose, actually, by the margin that they lost by. Pocosin has come a long way. They really have invested into their athletic program at Pocosin.
Oh yeah.
And their coaching staff is good. To me, I think they can get, in a couple of years, they'll be right up there with Lafayette in the Bay Rivers district. Lafayette, York, and another team to keep an eye on is up in Williamsburg is Bruton.
That's Brian Randall's old school. Bruton's had some athletes.
Yeah, but they've got a whole new coaching staff. They were super young. He had a all freshman. I call it an all freshman team this year, and they beat some people that they weren't supposed to beat.
Mm-hmm.
So I told the coach when I did their game, I was like, "You guys need you need a year or two in the weight room." He's like, "I know." I said, "You get these kids in the weight room." I said, "Bruton has always had athletes." He said, I said, "You got a couple." I said, "They just need weight room time now and to get into your system." But Bruton in about 2 years is a team I would keep an eye on.
Okay.
Yeah, well, Williamsburg's always had really good talent. So,
hey, one last question from what districts and schools do you all referee? Do you go on the other side of the water? So
Southside Referee Association has all the Southside schools. Okay. We handle Peninsula District, Bay River District, what used to be the old Tri-Waters District with Matthews and West Point.
Yep.
Out there, Surrey, out there in the deep woods.
Okay.
I hate going out there, man, because them insects be.
I've
seen a lot of mosquitoes in Camp Lejeune. They don't have nothing.
I got family in Surrey. Families, man.
Yeah, they got nothing on them insects out there in Surrey and West Point. So.
Right. Okay. All right. All
right, Skip. Well, cool. Thanks for coming on. Don't be a stranger. Let's have you on again. We got we're in the third round, so we got 2 more rounds coming up. Let's look for Phoebus to get down to Lynchburg, and there ain't no party like a Phoebus party. We all know that.
I'll be on the sideline because my wife's a photography teacher and she doesn't like to go out there in the cold and take pictures. You might know her, Rusty. She's a Bethel girl.
Oh yeah, who's that? What's her name?
Michelle Brown. She was a cheerleader. They used to call her Red.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. When she heard your name, she was like, "I know him." I was like, "Yeah, you probably do."
Yeah. Okay, cool. Tell me I said what's up.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
married the Bruin, bro. You I know you did right.
Hey, that's where all the fine girls were back in the day. Between Paul and Denby.
Yeah, bro, I was just getting ready to say Bethel and Denby. I used to live in Denby, and I took a Denby girl to the prom when I was at Bethel. I know. I went back to my middle school phone list.
Don't get yourself in trouble.
Wow. Yeah, Bethel is
man. Bethel and Denby. Mansfield won't too bad either. But,
no, they weren't.
We'll have to do some of this offline. I tell her to watch all the time, but if this topic is football, she ain't watching. We good. I'm good. I don't know about you, but I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. She like this now.
Yeah, my wife was an athlete at Lake Braddock, and she ran track and she ain't watching no football, man. All right. Well, look, thanks again, Skip. I would like to. I can't join you guys this weekend, but maybe we can hook up with some later rounds.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And real quick for everybody watching, we're going to have a lot of Phoebus people watching this, and a lot of people from Hampton watching this. We're the Kirk and Byrd BYRD show on YouTube, and we've got audio only on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, and Google. You know, if you ever want to listen to what we're talking about, workout, and people talk about podcasts, and they're just like, well, I never have time to listen to the whole thing. Well, that's what podcasts are all about. You know, you go back and you watch them in pieces and parts. So, you know, everybody out there, we want you to subscribe. We've got some great guests coming up. We got some higher profile, but we want to keep it local. We want to cover the 757. We want to cover the 804, and we want to cover up here in Northern Virginia because, you know, no one really does high school sports. We had Mickey Thompson on before you. We would love to have Coach Blunt on. So, Skip, I'll see you on Saturday.
Okay.
And thank you so much for coming on. Great perspective, great knowledge. Some of these kids I cannot wait to see play. You know, my buddy Virgil Richardson, you know, was talking to me earlier. And matter of fact, I asked, he said, get Skip to come on. He's like an encyclopedia. So thank you so much.
All right.
And as we close, the Kirk and Byrd show is out. A trio from 87.
Yeah. All right. Thanks again,
87.
Skip. God bless you, bro.
All right. One last thing. I got to say this. Y'all do your fraternity signals. Y'all do that thing. Come on, do it. Come on.
Oh,
yeah, you're a Q dog and you're an alpha.
He's alpha.
Right. So for my buddy Mark Watson, I'm on Pi Kappa Alpha. That's a wonder bet. That's a wonder bread fraternity. But Mark's always talking about the noops. Mark Watson, this is for the noops. Make sure you subscribe to my show. Phil Billington Charity is an alpha.
He played. That was my Phil.
Yeah.
Phil was my.
Kesey's a Q dog. Who else is a Q dog?
Phil pledged me.
Yeah.
Phil pledged me at VCU. He was
Beverly's a Q. William Beverly.
Yeah.
William Beverly. All right. Yep.
All of them 87 Bruins. Beverly, CJ, Derek Fennell.
Who else the bros? Jason Wallace.
Jason, his brother Damon.
Skip. Did you get Brandon?
Yeah, I got hits right here.
Oh man. All right, we gotta close.
I ain't gonna show you, but I got hits.
All right.
You know.
All right, the Kirk and Byrd show. We are out.